Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to go through my 7 best futures bets for the 2024 NRL season and the reason why I like each one of them. Firstly, no bet in the premiership market as it currently stands. I think Penrith and the Broncos are both too short as it currently is. I also think the Rabbitohs are a touch too short. Hence, there's probably a little bit of value outside of them from a dollar perspective. However, the way I bet, whether it's on sports or on horse racing, is only making bets that I genuinely think can win and that are also over the odds. So I'm not going to back a team just because I think they're priced slightly long. Like, for example, I think the Sharks are slightly long at $23. I think the Warriors are slightly long at $19. But I don't know if they're quite good enough as it stands to win the premiership. So I'm not going to force a bet into that game or into that team, because they're maybe priced slightly too long. So staying out of that market, as it currently is. But firstly, so the first betting one, if I find the season wins, here it is. Firstly, I'm going to take the Cronulla Sharks over 12.5 wins for the upcoming season. I have the Sharks winning 15 games this year. Definitely need to improve slightly defensively, but they do have by far the easiest draw this season, and expecting they're going to have a very similar overall year to 2023, which will see them winning 13 plus games. So a nice straightforward bet there to start. Then we'll go over to Bet365 and we'll bring up the season wins because I got two more on Bet365. Firstly, the Sydney Roosters over 13.5. Have the Roosters winning 16 games this year. Their attack was the major issue last season. They were ranked down the bottom, with teams like the Tigers, Dragons, in attacking statistics, but on paper, they're a much, much better side than that. They've consistent throughout the year, and they also bring in Dominic Young, who is the leading try scorer for Newcastle last season. So that should all improve their attacking side, and they can definitely, on paper, they're a much better attacking side, and they're already really strong defensively. So you can definitely see them winning 14 plus games this year. As I said, have them winning 16. Also, I'm going to take over 11.5 for the Newcastle Knights. Have them winning 15 games this season. So I think this can definitely go over. I feel like 15 might just be a tiny bit of a stretch. Put them in as 15 in my season prediction. 14 to 15, I feel like, is their kind of range they're going to finish in, which will easily see them winning 12 plus games. Losing Dominic Young is the major issue for them being their leading try scorer. However, I think based on what they showed, their top 3 to 4 side, both in attack and defense, and teams like that are generally really hard to beat because they don't rely on one area in order to be good. Obviously, they massively exceeded expectations in 2023. I can't remember the exact number off the top of my head. I think they had a season win prediction last year of 6.5, or it might have been 8.5, but I'm pretty sure it was 6.5. And so they have moved it up fairly significantly from that, but I think they clear it once again if they continue to hold form from last season. And then on TAB, my other season wins bet is I'm going to take under 10.5 for the Canterbury Bulldogs. I only have them winning 7 games this season. They get Stephen Crichton into the team, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They're just issues all across the park for the Bulldogs. They're a bottom 4 side in attack and defense. So to win 11 or more games is going to be a real big stretch for them. Also, the Bulldogs have the third toughest schedule this season, and it's much, much more difficult than they had last year. So it's very difficult to see a world where the Bulldogs are winning 11 or more games in 2024. So that's a very easy under bet. Then back onto Bet365. So I got 2 teams to miss the finals who I'm fairly confident either both or at least one of these 2 sides will miss. So top 8 finish, here we go. Firstly, the South Sydney Rabbitohs to miss finals, $3.30. Have them finishing in 9th position. I feel like it could be close. On paper, they're a good side. They've been a good side the past 5, 6, 7 years. However, there's, quite a few players in that team getting older. Damien Cook and Cody Walker, both 33, 34 years of age. Latrell Mitchell only really playing 15, 16 games per season. And that's due to injury and things like that. So their spine, the players that make up their spine, they're Hooker at 5'8", both aging. Fullback can miss a lot of games. And then also Lachlan Ilias still kind of improving as a halfback. They do get Jack Wyden into the team, which I feel like is creating a bit of hype around them, but there's just too many negatives. And $3.30 for them to miss the finals, I feel like is a very, very good price. And $1.33 to make the top 8 is way, way, way too short. Then also going to take $2.25 for the Cowboys to miss finals as well. I feel like they're a side that's, not all that great. They kind of rank lowly in majority of statistics. They're good up in Queensland, up in North Queensland, but don't really travel that well. So for them to make finals, I feel like they're going to have a really, really good season. And I can't see it completely happening. So Cowboys to miss top 8, $2.25. And then we're going with a try scorer multi. We're going 3 legs. This is top try scorer for their respective teams. For Newcastle, Greg Marzhew. As I mentioned, Dominic Young leaves. Greg Marzhew was second place for the Knights last year. I think he'll go into the #1 try scorer for them this season. He wasn't all that far behind Dominic Young last year. New Zealand Warriors, Dylan Watine-Zelezniak. I feel like he'll definitely clear this. And I feel like all 3 of these all win as long as they stay fit throughout the year. And then for the Gold Coast Titans, Alefiana Khan-Pereira going into his second season. Both their wingers score plenty of tries. So it's going to be between the 2 wingers for the Titans, but would prefer to be with Khan-Pereira. I feel like with more upside coming into his second season of his career. So $2.17 at Sportsbet. I always recommend you level stake all the bets. The ones that I was the most confident on are the Knights over 11.5 and the Bulldogs under 10.5. Those are the 2 that I most like out of all 7. But I'm confident, I really like all 7 of these plays. So if you're following along, good luck. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, because I'm going to be posting videos right throughout the NRL season, giving you what my thoughts, why I think certain things are going to happen based on statistics, data, analytics, and the betting history between teams. So hope you guys are following along and are ready to make profit this footy season.